Man, I cannot believe that I'm going to be graduating from school on Thursday, May 25th. That's really exciting. I mean, I am having a Roman holiday right now. It definitely does feel like I'm having a Roman holiday. I need to ride a Vespa. Wait a minute. I might get one from Luca, actually. The 2021 Pixar movie. Oh, which speaking of Roman holiday, and today, guys, I am going to be reviewing Roman holiday. So, yeah. So, before I go, I'm going to say this. Yes, my summer vacation is almost coming, and I cannot wait. So, yeah, and also, cue the intro. Okay, guys. You guys may be wondering, why am I in this black and white background? Well, the movie that I am going to be reviewing right now is set in black and white. So, yeah. So, without further ado, let's review this movie for its 70th anniversary this year. So, yeah. So, without further ado, let's start this review right now, today. So, yeah. So, without further ado, let's start it right now. So, yeah. Hey guys, this is Evan's Disney's Film Corner 2023, and today, guess what guys? And today, I am going to be reviewing Roman Holiday, came in the year of 1953, so yeah. So, I'm going to read this plot on the internet, so yeah. So, basically what the plot's about, overwhelmed by her stuff, opera and schedule, touring European princess Anne takes off on a night in Rome, and while the Saddles, which, sorry I mispronounced that name, but that's okay. She took from her doctor, kicks in, and however, she falls asleep on a park bench and found an American reporter named Joe Bradley who takes her back to his apartment for safety at work. The next morning, Joe finds Anne's regal identity and belts his editor, and he gets an executive interview with her, but the romance soon gets in the way. So yeah. So that's basically what the plot's about this movie. So yeah, so I did remember that this movie actually came out on August 27th of 1953 as well. And also this movie is actually 118 minutes long actually, and also yeah. And it also stars Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn, and this movie is also directed by William Wilmer, which honestly yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong if I pronounced his last name correctly, but that's okay. So yeah. And also, yeah. And also, and also, yeah. So, yeah, guys. So, what do I think of this movie? I have to say, this is definitely my favorite Audrey Hepburn movie. This is actually a classic. Like, yeah. Like, Roman Holiday is definitely my favorite Audrey Hepburn movie, which honestly, yeah. Which I did remember, which I already reviewed, Audrey Hepburn's, other films like last year, like I reviewed Breakfast at Tiffany's, I reviewed My Fair Lady, I reviewed Funny Face, and I also reviewed Sabrina, and also in February of this year I reviewed Love in the Afternoon, and also I do remember I actually reviewed this movie back on January 29th of 2021. But I'm going to be reviewing this movie this year for its 70th anniversary as well, which is also really exciting. This is actually a sequel review to my original review back in January of 2021 as well, which is also really exciting as well. And also, yeah. Yeah, this is actually my sequel review to my original review in 2021. So, yeah. Which I made a lot of sequels to my reviews, actually, which honestly is really exciting. So, yeah. Which are actually re-reviews, actually, which re-reviews are my sequel reviews to my original reviews. So, yeah, which I like doing re-reviews, which honestly, yeah, And honestly, yeah. And also let's talk about and enough said, and now back onto the movie. So yeah, so now let's talk about the cast of this movie, which Gregory Peck as Joe Bradley was phenomenal in this movie as well, and especially Audrey Hepburn as Princess Anne, which also was fantastic and also really phenomenal as well. And also yeah, and also yeah, there's also iconic scenes in this movie. Yeah. There's also iconic scenes in this movie as well. I mean, especially when the iconic scene where Anne and Joe Bradley ride a Vespa, actually, which is also really exciting. And yeah. Yeah, and also there's also a lot of iconic scenes in this movie as well. Like also the mouth of, like, the scene where like the mouth of truth, and also yeah, as well. And yeah, and there's also a lot of iconic scenes in this movie as well. And also yeah, and also oh, and even the setting of this movie is fantastic. I mean, it still holds up to this day. I mean, 70 years later, it still looks fantastic. And also, yeah, and even the rest of the cast of this movie is still phenomenal 70 years later. So yeah, and also I know this movie is actually made by Paramount Pictures as well. It's actually made by Paramount. So yeah, and now let's talk about the music and the score of this movie, which is actually composed by George Gillis. Sorry I mispronounced that person's name. George Gillis, which, sorry I mispronounced that person's name, but that's okay. So yeah, and Victor Young, which honestly, they both did fantastic doing the score of this movie. And also yeah, the score in this movie is still fantastic to this day, actually. So yeah, yeah, that romantic theme of the score of this movie, he fits so well for this film as well. So yeah, and also yeah, and also I forgot to mention, in 1999 Roman Holiday was selected as a presentation of the National Film Registry in the Library of Congress as being critically and historically and and are very sorry I mispronounced that name, significant. And also the film is also considered one of the most romantic films in cinema history. So yeah, and also yeah, it is a really romantic film as well, and it's definitely fantastic. And it's also a really amazing romantic comedy film. And also yeah, this is definitely my favorite romantic comedy as well. Also yeah. And now let's talk about the production design of this movie, which honestly, it still holds up to this day. 70 years later, it still looks fantastic. It still looks absolutely phenomenal to this day. Yeah. Even the look of the film and the setting still looks gorgeous to this day. Yeah. Overall, I have nothing else to say about this movie. So yeah. So overall, guys, Roman Holiday is definitely a fantastic romantic comedy. Yeah, and honestly, Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn were definitely fantastic to this day, and they're still absolutely phenomenal, and they still will steal the show of this movie as well. And honestly, yeah, and they were still absolutely phenomenal in this movie. So yeah, so if you haven't seen Roman Holiday, where have you been? I highly recommend it. So yeah, so I'm going to give Roman Holiday a 10 out of 10 spectacular. So yeah, guys, what do you think of my re-review on Roman Holiday? So yeah, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe my channel, and make sure to like this video. So yeah, so stay tuned for my movie review on The Road to El Dorado, which I'm going to be reviewing it next Friday on May 26th of this year. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, so I'll see you guys later. And so I make this wish. Who's your favorite fearless hero? We don't talk about Bruno, no, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. How far I'll go. Oh, you're just Popo Loco. And bye.